Hi everyone, and this week's What If is what if Vegeta and Goku decide to turn into Gogeta instead of Vegito. So yeah, it's been one of those things. Vegito is like a fan favorite in terms of the fusions and characters, and Gogeta is too. However, the difference between the two is obvious that Gogeta is not canon. Gogeta, for lack of a better term, does not technically exist in the actual history of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. He exists within GT, which is also not canon. Hi, Pop-Up. And it exists within the movie Fusion Reborn. So he does exist, just not in the actual canon of DBZ. But the question becomes, what if he did exist? What if he did? What if they did decide to turn into Vegito and Gogeta instead of? Or excuse me. What if they decide? I'm going to be doing that, by the way, going back and forth. What if they did decide to be turning into Gogeta instead of Vegito? So to ask that question, we have to understand how the situation plays out. It's going to be the same as when Goku showed up, and he's going to maybe do the fusion dance with Gohan, but Gohan gets absorbed. So with Vegeta showing up there. And, maybe somehow I think the Kais would maybe play as that, Vegeta, this is how you do it. Or, Vegeta, this is how you do it, blah, 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 blah. And something, so it's like, no, I refuse to do such a silly dance. A Saiyan elite like myself, this is Vegeta, shut up. And eventually, kind of like how he came and said, Fusion, ha! Now, and I will do a versus on this at some point. Gogeta is, for all lack of a better term, weaker than Vegito. He is, there's been no real confirmed official multiplier for the fusions per se. We actually do have a power level of Gogeta in the movie. It's like 2.5 billion, so he's actually even stronger than Broly and stuff like that. However, there is no actual real power level scaling for the fusions. However, we know for a fact that the fusion dance is weaker than the Potara earring fusion is because, one, you have to have an exact even power level for the fusion dance to work. Two, the fusion dance only lasts 30 minutes. Lasts even less if you're going into superpower forms like Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4. Or even Super Saiyan Blue taxed out the Potara earrings when they used up too much energy. And the newest canon for the fusion for the Kai earrings. One second, I need to check something. Okay, I just want to be certain that was not like, nope, you're talking again, so that means I need to go outside. You need to pay attention to me. No, I don't. She literally has been outside. She loves playing in the snow. But yeah, that, and I've always actually likened it to the fact that, one, up until Super, the Potara, I might be pronouncing it, Potara earring fusions were permanent, and even so, it still lasts an hour, so it's already twice as long as a normal fusion. Two, its multiplier is, and I know I'm going off a little tangent, but its multiplier is just the powers combined with it. Hell, base level Vegito alone was able to basically fight even with Super Buu, with Buhan as he's called affectionately. So he's able to just base level form. So I'm pretty almost dead certain it's their powers multiplied on both fronts. Difference is that you need to lower your power level to the lower individual's level in order to use the fusion dance. So the prohibitations. But regardless. Let's say Gogeta emerges. Now, I actually think this fight goes drastically different than the Vegito fight. And I say that because from the two times we've had Vegito, or Gogeta on screen, he has completely and utterly wrecked shop every time he's been on screen. Particularly in the Fusion Reborn movie, where unlike Vegito, where he's just toying around with Buhan for the longest time. Unlike with Vegito, he ain't taking none of that Janempa shit. Two hits. He takes one. I think he takes one hit to the head, and then he just does one particular punch, which. Apparently, it was an ability of his that literally decimates all evil in their target, and something like that, seeing as Janempa was pure personification of evil, that completely narrowly killed him. That's why they brought him back to his normal form. But, yeah, Gogeta ain't gonna be it. And in GT, he does screw around a bit with Buu, or excuse me, with Omega Shenron. However, the difference being is that unlike with Vegeta, where he the whole time was just fucking around with Buuhan, he never once really tried to finish him off. If he wanted to, he could have finished him off like that. Let's be clear. If he really wanted to, he could have just done him in. Period. Done. But no, he was messing around with him. Gogeta in GT, even though he was messing around with Omega Shenron, still was actually going to end up finishing him off. He would have finished him off had his fusion not run out. So Gogeta, I think, is actually the more serious of the two fighters. Granted, you know, Dragon Ball Z Super or Dragon Ball Super notwithstanding for Vegito, he definitely took that fight a lot more seriously than he did with Buu. But I'm not quite certain what the real difference between those scenarios were. But anyway, point being, I think bar none, Gogeta, while weaker than Vegito, would still be more than enough to take on Buuhan. He'd at least be Super Saiyan form. And I think he could probably, here's the thing, Super more or less confirmed that any technique that any of the original guys knew, that Fusion knows as well. For instance, instant transmission, Big Bang attack, probably Kaioken, the Kamehameha, combining techniques as well, and any transformation they have, Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan. So the Super Saiyan Gogeta could probably go Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta too. I don't think he'd need to, though. He would more than likely just end the fight pretty quick with that evil annihilating punch and then just wipe out Buu. But then that raises a whole new kettle of fish right there. Dende's still alive in it, and so now that Buu's defeated, they unfuse. Dende's still around. Does Fat Buu live? Does Trunks, Goten, Gohan live because they were inside of Buu? Well, you know what? Actually, yes, I would say yes, they would because it correlates completely to Gogeta's ability to literally cleanse the evil and destroy the evil out of something and leaving only the good. Hence, that kid demon was left. Goten, Gohan, and Trunks would all be released from Buu after that, basically cleansed from Buu. Now, would Fat Buu also have to be the same? Yes, because he's actually the good Buu. He is the best part of Buu. Basically, he is the most. He's basically the good version of Buu. Great, he's got bad qualities to him, but at the time this is taking place, he is more or less the good guy at this point. When he shows up in DBZ Super or DB Super as well, or DBS as we'll say for shorthand. So yeah, I think they'd all be brought back out. Buu would be like, "Woo, Buu, Satan, Hercule, friend, Bee," and all that stuff. Or Bee, wait, Bee. I can't do a good Buu. See, I can kind of do that, but it's a little hard. It's some of the other voices that are a bit easier to do. Goten, they'd all wake up, and then it's a matter of finagling the Dragon Balls in the right way to, bring everyone back. I think they'd use the Namekian Dragon Balls as well. And so everything correlates, everything goes back to more relatively normal. Lead into Super, very, very, very little changes with Super. The only thing that really would change, probably, is that maybe Goku and Vegeta would maybe try a fusion against Beerus to see if they could maybe, to go against them. And to be fair, I think Gogeta, and it's the same with Vegeta, I think Vegeta would stand a better chance than Gogeta. I think Gogeta it'd kind of be a better fight than when Vegeta raged out on Beerus. But he actually ended up hurting Beerus briefly, a few seconds. But he still managed to actually, actually overwhelm him briefly. I think it'd be a more impactful version of that. Granted, it would not last very long, but they would square off. They would probably get a couple good hits in. But the evil banishing wave, whatever you want to call that technique, wouldn't do anything simply because Beerus isn't evil. He's just the god of destruction. It's his job to destroy things. So it's like, and then boom, then the whole God thing, I think, would still play into a factor and all that. And then things go as normal, blah, 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 blah. The only things that would really otherwise change, well, first off, Earth would not have been destroyed. Was that the first time Earth had actually been destroyed in the DBZ history? Yeah, it actually was. When Buu destroyed Earth, that was the first time Earth had been destroyed. So yeah, Earth would never have been destroyed. When it comes to the Goku Black, what was that guy's name? Wow, I'm blanking on that guy's name. The villain in Super most recently. It's Goku Black, and I am blank. Hold on, let me find one of my because someone who I watch who does reviews on this. It's and I know I'm gonna find his name immediately and be like, oh, that's what his name was. Damn it. But okay. Come on. Give me 1 second. Why am I blanking on the? I mean, you could tell me in the comments below, but I'll end up finding it in just a minute. Zamus. That was it. Zamus. Or Zamus. Yeah, Zamus and Goku Black. That fight would, again, they turn to Gogeta, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. It'd probably go about the same. Actually, it might not go exactly the same as with the fight between Vegito and Zamasu at that point. I mean, Vegito actually was pretty kicking Zamasu' butt for a while. But because of the wishes and because of just, almost near infinite power he was having, he was kind of losing fight. The difference is the technique that Gogeta uses. Again, and because of the Super Saiyan Blue thing, I would be willing to bet it's kind of like a Super Saiyan 4 scenario where it's probably going to only last 15 minutes, and, let the fusion last only 15 minutes. The power of Super Saiyan Blue is too intense for the fusion to last any longer, and all that stuff. However, they'll fight for a bit, and then, Gogeta, maybe even sensing something his power's kind of his body can't handle the power, right? Does his evil, kind of like an evil containment, only evil annihilation. I don't know what the actual technique's called. Evil annihilation or something like that. Point being, and Domino's ripping up something. She's like, oh, this must be a box, but I'm going to have to check what she's actually got in just a second. You're ripping something, dog. Give me a moment. Because despite what Zamasu thought, no, he was evil. He was flat out evil. Would an immortal who is pure evil, pretty much, or misguided, probably an evil immortal, be annihilated? You are ripping something apart, dog. I need to know what you are ripping apart. Okay, it's on at least not the normal couch. I think you're ripping a blanket apart, though. And so I need to end this quick. I think they would annihilate his body. But it's hard to tell, and Domino doing stuff in the other room is really throwing me off right now. Anyway, it's tough. That is really, really tough, because theoretically, Buu and Janempa are functionally immortal. So, I mean, the body's immortal, but would it annihilate the evil in his... Yeah, I think it would annihilate the evil in his soul, so maybe it would end up doing him in. That's a really what if. That's a big what if. I can't honestly give a comprehensive answer, yes or no, on that, because of how immortality apparently works in this universe. But yeah, thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for what if videos, who would win, put those in the comments below. I keep them on the list. I get to them. I will actually have an extra review up today, because it's a review I've been wanting to do for a while. I figured, why not get to it now? So we'll be up later today. I have nothing planned for tomorrow, but who knows? Who would win will be up on Wednesday. And Rogue One review, superhero video. And I will not be doing a match video. I already did that earlier just because I wanted to, get on the or bandwagon, or what's the term? I wanted to get ahead of schedule for the last week's, because a video of news that came out last week, and I just wanted to make sure I get to the video before it was still relevant, or while it was still relevant, I should say. Sorry, I'm a little rushed. I'm trying to make sure Domino's not tearing up the house. So thanks for watching. I'll actually be back in a little while.